Have you started a simple conversation with your spouse and before you knew it, it turned into an argument? Don't worry, most couples struggle with this, but it can be fixed. Let's look at why our conversations keep turning into conflicts or fights. The first reason is unspoken expectations or assumptions. Many fights don't start because of what is said, but because of what is assumed. For example, your spouse gets back from work and walks through the door and doesn't greet you properly and just walks ahead and goes to the sitting room or goes to the bedroom. Now, what do? You are tempted to think that, assume that they are upset with you, angry about something you said or did, but for all you know, they are just tired and want to rest. So, if we are not careful, this is going to lead to a conflict. And you are there wondering why they didn't greet you properly and what did you do, all of that, and there's unnecessary emotions building up. What we are supposed to do is simply go to your spouse, talk to your spouse and ask nicely. So go, for example, like I call my husband different names. So I could go like, my king, it seems you are a bit distant. What is, or a bit quiet? Is there anything the matter? Or is there something bothering you? Then he can then tell me that he's tired and just wants to rest, or he had a hectic day, or something happened, and he lets me in on what is going on with him instead of me sitting back and assuming all kinds of things. And the unspoken expectations is maybe you're expecting that he or she will walk through the door happy, give you a kiss, a hug, and that doesn't happen, and so you feel disappointed. For unspoken expectations, what do? Say your expectations. Say what you want, how you want to be treated. Find a good time to talk about it. Don't be sulking and don't let the disappointment eat you up. All right? Proverbs 18, verse 13. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. So we are not supposed to be reacting. We have to clarify first what is going on. Doing this prevents unnecessary conflicts from happening. Number two, poor timing. Bringing up a valid concern at the wrong time can lead to conflict. If you have a very important thing to talk about and you are bringing it up, for example, when your spouse is stressed or exhausted, tired, it is going to lead to a fight. It's going to lead to a conflict. It's not going to be well received. So these are some of the reasons why our conversations keep turning into conflicts. What are we supposed to do? We have to ask. I always ask my husband, I have something important that I want to tell you about. Is it a good time? Or there is something bothering me that I want us to talk about or that I want us to discuss. Is it a good time? If it tells me it's not a good time, I don't press to talk about it. I don't. I wait till he tells me it is a good time to talk about it. Even if it takes a whole 2 days, I'll wait because I do not want to get into unnecessary conflicts that can be avoided. I don't want to get into that. The timing is very important. If we get the timing wrong, we are going to end up having conflicts and fights that could have been avoided. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 7, the Passion Translation, it says that there is a time to be silent and a time to speak. Let's learn to know when to speak and when to be silent. We need to get the timing right. If not, our conversations will lead to conflict. Three, our tone and body language. Words matter. Words are powerful, our words matter, but the way we present it, our tone and our posture speaks even louder than the words. So, for example, you could ask your spouse, "What's wrong?" You see the way I lowered my tone before asking the question? That will be received, and it's very different from asking, "What is wrong?" You see, you get different reactions. Different reactions. You see, my body language and all of that communicates antagonism instead of peace. Instead of inviting my spouse to share his heart, it is rather going to lead to conflict because my words and my body language and tone are not in sync. They are not matching. And sometimes that is what we do, and it leads to conflict. We need to learn to speak with kindness, lower our tone. We have to use softer facial expressions and a body language or a body posture that communicates love, a posture of love. And in the conversation, we need to consciously maintain that posture of love in order for the communication, the conversation to flow and be peaceful. If we don't do that, and in the midst of it, our posture changes, our facial expressions change and become tense and all of that, that is how the conversation will be. Proverbs 15, verse 1, it says that a soft answer, it turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. A harsh word stirs up anger. So we need to be careful of not just our words, but our body language and our tone. Very, very crucial. Four, defensive listening. Many of us listen to defend, not to understand. We are supposed to be listening to understand what our spouse is saying. That is part of active listening. When your spouse is talking to you, you're supposed to concentrate solely on what they are saying in order to imbibe the emotions that is behind their words, get their body language and listen actively to what they are saying so we can fully understand what they are trying to communicate. Because sometimes we don't have the words to even communicate and pass across our emotions properly. But when we listen actively, we can be able to get the emotions behind what our spouse is saying, get the words and everything that they are trying to pass across. It helps us to understand them without missing out on anything that they are saying. For example, your spouse says, "I feel like you don't have time for me." Now, what you're supposed to do is not to defend and say that, "What do you mean? What do you mean by I don't have time for you? I'm the one doing everything around here. I'm the one paying the bills. I'm the one doing this. I'm doing that and all of that. What do you mean I don't have time for, I'm working hard for the family and all of that?" No, that is wrong. You are totally wrong and out of line. All your spouse is saying is, "I feel you don't have enough time for me." What is supposed to be the right response? If you are not doing defensive listening, if you are doing active listening and not defensive listening, the right response is supposed to be that you validate their feelings. Validate your spouse feelings. Say, oh, I hear you. I didn't know that you feel that way. I didn't know that you feel that I'm not as present as I should. Can we talk about it so we know how to fix it or correct this? Because I really would not want you feeling that way. That is how to do it. That is how to do it. Look, we are supposed to be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to getting angry. And I want to read James 1:19 in the Amplified Version for you. James 1:19 Amplified Version. It says, be quick to hear. Be a careful, thoughtful listener. Slow to speak. A speaker of carefully chosen words. Slow to anger. Patient, reflective, forgiving. That is what we are supposed to be doing when we are being spoken to. 5. Bringing up past hurts. Many conversations escalate into conflict because we are bringing up past hurts. For example, a simple conversation about doing dishes in the kitchen or helping with chores in the house can turn into something like, you are always doing this. You're not helping me around the house. Remember last year when you did that, and I was the only one doing that. When we do that, when we bring past issues into the present discussion, it will lead to conflict. It will lead to a fight. We have to stick to the issue at hand. What I have learned in my 20 years of marriage and 15 years of counseling married couples is that all issues cannot be resolved at the same time. All issues cannot be resolved at the same time. And sometimes even the reason why we have a lot of issues at stake is because we don't resolve them as and when they come. We need to start learning to do that. We need to start learning to do that. All right. So stick to the issue at hand. Don't go digging up past issues into the current situation. Philippians chapter 3 verse 13, NLT, New Living Translation, says that forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. Forgetting the past. Let's look forward. Sometimes I know that the hurt is deep. What happened hurt us very deeply. And for me, what I do is that I pray and ask God for grace to forgive. Grace to forgive and grace to let go and forget the pain. Because when you have a sharp memory, it is not easy to forget. But what I keep encouraging myself with is that God does not keep bringing my past issues into the present. He throws it in the sea of forgetfulness. He completely erases it when I ask for forgiveness. So I tell myself that when my spouse asks for forgiveness, I need to forgive as well and forget. And I pray to God to help me to forget the pain. Because I tell you, if God doesn't help you, some of the pains are very deep. Some of the wounds are very deep. And it takes a supernatural hand of God to be able to forgive and to be able to forget. We are not supposed to forget the lessons, but we are supposed to forget the pain. If not, it will affect us. We will not be able to enjoy our relationships. So now, how do we fix it? I want to share with you some Conflict-free communication strategies from my new book, Talk, Don't Fight. Talk, don't fight. The first one is that we have to learn to use I statements and not you statements. So, for example, say I feel instead of you are doing so, so, and so. So you could say, I feel unheard when I'm sharing something important. Instead of you never listen to me, you are always on the phone. No, we have to avoid those expressions. Talk from your point of feeling. Talk from your point of feeling. Using you is accusatory and it is pushing the blame. Your spouse will not receive the message. It will be met with a defense, with a blockage. They will not receive it and you will not get the desired result that you want. Two, pause before responding. Pause and take a deep breath before responding to what your spouse said to you. Now, when you pause and you take a deep breath, what happens is that you take oxygen into your brains. So you increase your oxygen saturation level. You take oxygen into your brains and it helps you to think more clearly, to able to give the right response. Secondly, it lowers your blood pressure, therefore helping you to be calm even when emotions are high. So pause and take a deep breath before you respond. Now, before you even respond, you ask yourself, is what I'm about to say going to help my marriage or is it going to destroy my marriage? Is it going to help this conversation to continue to be peaceful or is it going to turn this conversation into a conflict? So I ask that question always because sometimes it's better to not say anything at all, especially when in heated moments. It's better not to say anything and wait for tempers to cool before speaking. Take a break if you have to. Take a break. When emotions are high, take a break. And in taking the break, don't just walk out. It will be considered rude and disrespectful. So tell your spouse that I would like us to take a break to cool off. Then we can come back and talk about this with a clearer mind. All right, do that. Take a break, cool off, and then you can come back. Remember not to just walk out. Say it before going so that your spouse knows that you are coming back. If not, all kinds of interpretations will be given to it. 4, agree on a conflict resolution plan. When things are calm, when you have a peaceful season, sit down with your spouse and agree on a conflict resolution plan. Agree on some ground rules. What are we going to do when when things are getting heated up? So for example, some of the ground rules that my husband and I have, and that has also helped so many couples across the world is number 1, no yelling or shouting. No yelling or shouting. When you establish these in a peaceful season, when it is happening, you are able to check each other to help each other to stay within the confines of the ground rules that you have. For example, sometimes my husband will tell me, your tone is changing. Your tone is changing. And then that helps me to calm down. And sometimes I tell him, you are shouting. You are beginning to shout. And then it checks him and he's able to calm down. So, ground rule number 1, no yelling, no shouting. 2, no interrupting. No interrupting, because when you interrupt, you are not able to get all of the information to understand what your spouse is saying. Interrupting also shows disrespect and makes your spouse feel unheard. 3, no bringing up of past issues. Stick to the issue at hand. 4, Take a break in heated moments. When tempers are going high, agree to take a break and you tell each other about it before you take a break. Establish these ground rules in a peaceful season. It is so helpful. Number 5, pray together before having a tough conversation. Before discussing a tough conversation, pray together. Doing that invites the presence of God to help you handle the discussion. What are you praying for? Pray for wisdom, pray for patience, understanding, and humility. Humility to accept what is being said, accept your part in the situation, and be able to change. Wisdom to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Patience to remain calm, and understanding to be able to gain insight into the discussion so that things are not misinterpreted. It is very important we invite the presence of God in handling tough conversations. Colossians chapter 4 verse 6. I'm reading the Passion Translation. It says that let every word you speak be drenched with grace and tempered with truth and clarity. Truth and clarity, and drenched with grace. That is what we are supposed to do. If we can put these strategies in place, our conversations will be more peaceful. We will have more harmonious marriages. Having a healthy communication is not a gift, it's a skill, and we can all learn it. Nobody came down from heaven with it. We learn it. So I want you to take these strategies that I've just shared with you from my book, Talk, Don't Fight. Practice it, use it, and remember them. Practice makes perfect. All right, practice makes perfect. So I want you to get it, and for more in-depth strategies, I want you to get my 2 new books, Talk, Don't Fight, which is the foundational book that has all the tools and the strategies for us to be able to communicate effectively and stop conflicts before they can even get to start. And if you are a couple in ministry, you know the struggle is different. And I have for us that will pair with this book, Talk, Don't Fight, the conflict-free communication blueprint for couples in ministry. That is going to help us to overcome our unique communication challenges and be able to balance marriage and ministry. I want you to get these books and check out the link in the description, or visit my website joanbright.com to get your copies. And I have a special gift for you, my 3-minute communication starters guide for couples in ministry. Sometimes we struggle with starting a conversation. That is why I pulled this together for you. It's a free gift, 3-minute communication guide for couples in ministry. Check out the link in the description. If you've been struggling with communication, you are not alone. We've all been there, and this thing is a daily thing. We have to communicate, and we can learn the tools. We work it out daily, and we get better at it. You are not alone in that struggle. We've all been there and we are working it out. God bless you for joining. I want you to share this video. I want you to like it, comment, and let it be a blessing to many others out there. God bless you.